Hi, my name is Don Slarry from Sports University. This is North Jersey Sports Tip of the Month. Today we're going to talk about an exercise that is pretty much a symbol for upper body strength. It's something that's talked about amongst the gym, and it's really something that's lied about and exaggerated by most people. That's the bench press.
He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard.
Okay, the first exercise we're going to talk about is the big one. It's the flat barbell bench. This is an exercise that's very popular. You know, obviously it's a staple in all programs, and it's a big test of upper body strength. Also, because of that reason, people always, over-exaggerate their bench press, and they also put on too much weight, and it causes bad form. So what we're going to talk about today is the correct form of a bench press and how to really, start and get yourself set in the bench to stabilize yourself and just get away from the negative form that's going to hurt yourself. The first thing when you sit on a bench is you want to get your feet set. A lot of people like to put their feet on a bench. That's okay for working different parts, but to really work on your upper body strength, you want to get your feet down and use your feet in your bench. You want your angles, your shin angle to be at about an 80-degree angle. You're lying your feet a little bit behind your knees, and you're going to get set. When you come back, you want the bar, it's very important, the bar to be about eye distance. I'll talk about this a little bit later. Because when you come down, it's set. I'm lining the bar with my eye, so when I come down, I'm not hitting these rings as I'm coming up. All right, a lot of times throwing heavy weight, you don't want to hit the rings as you're struggling. All right, so you're down, you're coming up, and you're staying away from the rings. The other component is you want to keep your butt and your back, the top of your back on the bench, and you're pinching your shoulder blades back, and you're sticking your chest out as you're doing it. So you want to keep your chest up, shorten the distance between the bar when it comes down to your chest. All right, your back is flat to the ground, your back is flat to the bench, the distance is longer. So you're going to try and arch, stick your chest out, shorten that distance, come down, hit the bottom of your sternum, hit your sternum right there underneath your chest, and then drive up. Last thing is your arms, your grip. The way I teach it is when you grip a bar, grab a bar first without the weight, and you want to measure and feel it. When you come down, look at your forearms at the bottom of the lift. Your forearms are parallel and they're vertical, directly vertical. That's where you want to be. All right, your arms are out here. They're kind of pointing out. You don't want that. Same thing in here. You want to get right to the point where your arms are pointing straight up on both sides. This way, when you drive up, your force is going directly up and it's not forcing outwards. So let's take a look at the bench press. Okay, now we're going to go into the actual bench. We're going to see this in a couple different views. First thing Mike is going to get down, he's going to get his butt on the pad. He's going to set his feet. He's going to come back. He's going to line his eyes with the bar. He's going to get his, he's always this with the width of his hand, so he's got his hand set. Another important thing is when you're setting up with the bar, you kind of want to get it and lock your hands in and push through the palms of your hands. All right, you don't want to really have the weight back on your hands, because then it puts a lot of stress on your wrist. So you want to drive through your wrist straight up. All right, so we're going to get them set. You always should have spotters, especially if you're doing weight that you might struggle with. He's going to bring the bar out to you. That saves you from hitting those rings, so now you don't have to worry about anything. Right? Tempo. He's going to come down when he gets the bar. He's not going to bang it off his chest. He's going to come down in a nice controlled manner. He's not going to go. It's not going to take 10 seconds to get down there. But he wants to go down fairly controlled, and he's really going to try and touch his chest and explode up. Right? This isn't trying. Most of this is done for upper body strength, but this is sport related, so we want to develop that explosion with it. So it's down under control and driving out. Right? You don't want to bounce it, but you don't want to really come too slow. You definitely want to come down to your chest. Nice tempo. He's driving it up. He's coming down to below his chest. You don't want to hit the top of your chest. Coming right down to your lower chest and driving upwards towards me. There it is, the bench press. Now we're going to go on to a couple different variations and show you why we'll do those variations. Okay, to do with resisted bench pressing. We're going to stay with the flat barbell bench, but we're going to use our chains as our resistance. You know, there's different types of resistance, bands, you know, both assistive and resisting. Anything really, you know, attached. What the point of the resisted bench is that it increases the weight as you drive upward. And as the chains come off the ground, the weight goes up, and when it's comparative to the strength of your lift. Usually at the bottom, you get stuck about halfway through, and that's where the weight is the heaviest, and it's getting heavier through the top. So you really want to work on developing that part of your lift to lock out your bench. All right, so we're going to get set the same way we did. It's the same technique as you've done in the bench press. We'll probably do a couple of different less reps with this and work on your strength and power things. So get your hands set. Again, you can arch his back up, stick his chest out. All right, shorten that distance from top to low bottom, and then we'll get his arms straight so that they're both upward. Right? You get 3 good reps, driving through and up. Good. Keep his butt down. 2, up, 3. Good. It's good to see it. You know, he's working a little bit. He's struggling. He doesn't bring his butt off the pad. He doesn't leave his feet off the ground. You don't want to see your feet coming off and playing around like a fish. That's not going to help you. That's just it's going to ruin your chances of getting that rep. So now we're going to our last example of a bench press, and it's going to do with dumbbells and stability balls. Our third variation of the bench is going to be a stability ball, alternate arm dumbbell bench. And the importance of the stability ball in this exercise is that it helps the body in terms of balance and actively recruiting muscles to keep himself from falling off one side or the other. Dumbbells actually allow for more freedom with the arms. You're not locked in. It's better for throwers and one-arm athletes that are doing a lot with one arms. And then the alternate arm helps with stabilizing the shoulder as you're going up. So we're going to show you this alternate. We're going to alternate the different variations of this, getting stable, secure. All right, we're going to go one arm at a time here. So he's holding up, stabilizing one arm, and working. 3. That's one variation. Before you go, alternate arm, so right up. Right. The key to that is really trying to stabilize one arm and trying to exceed that arm as you're doing a rep. And it's good just to build that endurance and help with your balance as you work on your upper body strength. All right, thank you for watching the tip of the month on NorthJerseySports.com. I'd like to thank Mike Quinn, quarterback for Wayne Hills. He's a great athlete. He's had a great year. He's worked his butt off. I hope that the examples of bench press and the techniques will help you in your programs. You definitely need to incorporate bench. Bench press is a staple. It's been around forever, and it'll be incorporated in programs for years to come. You just have to make sure that you do it the right way. Try not to let your self-esteem get involved and try and put too much